And now it's time for Eagle Recap with KBZE 105.9 FM and Central Catholic High School coach C.L. Grogan. Eagle Recap is being brought to you by A.J. Doman Chevrolet.
Harley Harlan here with A.J. Doman Chevrolet Cadillac in Berwick, Louisiana. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Hey, we can help you. We understand. We've lived through this COVID along with you. With your good job and your down payment, we can get you riding in a new vehicle today. Come down and see us at A.J. Doman Chevrolet Cadillac and let us show you how easy we can make it for you. A.J. Doman Chevrolet Cadillac in Berwick, Louisiana.
Welcome back to Eagle Recap. This is Coach Grogan with a brief recap of last Thursday's district game against Covenant Christian. Going into our third district game against Covenant Christian last Thursday, we knew we were going to go into the game with a few injuries to a few key players. But a lot of our guys, our younger guys, they stepped up, they answered the bell, answered the call. It was a good game, good grind-out game. Covenant Christian fought hard. They played tough. They have a lot of young guys they play also. Going to have some good careers for them in the future. But the standout player for us this week was Mr. Channing Rivera. He was 3 for 3 on all his extra points. And we ended up winning the game 21-19. So our defense stepped up. They came up big with a big stop on a 2-point conversion that could have eventually pushed the game into overtime. But they came up big with the stop, and that initially won the game for the Eagles Thursday night. Looking forward to this week. We traveled to New Iberia to go play against a very aggressive and physical Highland Baptist team. We haven't been on the road in a few weeks. Looking forward to having a few guys back in the lineup this week and hoping to get a few more guys healthy.
More of the Eagle Recap Show coming up in a moment.
Breast cancer continues to be one of the leading causes of cancer in women, although men can also develop breast cancer, but obviously not at the same rate. We at Tesh Action Clinic have been marking this occasion for a number of years now and memorialized it in the name of Adeline Gwenzi, who was an employee of Tesh Action Clinic and unfortunately passed away from breast cancer. She had a very aggressive form. And just wanted to emphasize to the public, particularly women out there, age 40 and above, the importance of getting annual mammograms. So we recommend the American Cancer Society early screening, and I always use the moniker that the best detection, the best prevention is early detection. The best prevention is early detection.
We're back with Eagle Recap for our segment. Eagle Hot Seat, I have here with me our new baseball coach, Mr. Brett Hidalgo. We're going to sit here with Coach Hidalgo and ask him a few questions. The first thing I want to ask Coach Hidalgo.
They got to be good questions, though.
I'm going to make sure there's some good ones. B. All right. And I know this first one, I'm going to ask you, I got a pretty good feeling of which team you're going to say. Who's your favorite baseball team?
Oh, man, you already know that.
Atlanta Braves, baby.
Atlanta Braves going to win it. I believe it's the first time in 22 years that we made it back to the World Series. I'm excited, and it's time to bring championship back to Atlanta.
All right. There you have it right there, his favorite baseball team, the Atlanta Braves. Also, I want to ask Coach B, Coach, what's your favorite meal?
Favorite meal? Tell you, Coach, I've been cooking steaks every Sunday since the NFL started. I had a Wagyu steak that I found at Rouse's Supermarket in Thibodaux. Awesome, about 1.25 inches thick, nice medium rare, perfect. So I'm gonna have to say steak.
Okay, steak. I got that. All right. One more thing, Coach B, I gotta ask you this question because I want all the viewers to know this about you. Which branch of the Army were you a part of?
Well, I was part of the military. I was in the Army. I was part of the 82nd Airborne. We were stationed in North Carolina. I was a paratrooper, so had a few good jumps, good times jumping out some airplanes and helicopters. So that was part of my job, and it was fun. But glad I got a chance to do it.
There you have it, guys. Coach Brent Hidalgo, our new baseball coach here at Central Catholic. Thank you.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
I got my COVID-19 vaccination, and here's why. This isn't about gimmicks or sentiment or what commercial I like. This is about facts. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Millions of doses have already been given in the United States, and these vaccines have the most intensive safety monitoring in U.S. history. When you need more information, use a reliable source like the CDC website, and get the facts.
Hark, bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, that is their song with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, raising the sound, all hill and dale, telling the tale. Gay they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. All know they said, all without him, their joyful tone to every home. Hark, the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is their song with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come, praising the sun, all in a day, telling their tales. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. All know they said, all without him, their joyful tone to every home. All the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is their song with joyful.
Welcome back to this week's Eagle Recap Show. I'm KBZ Sports Director Seth Thomas. Joining me now is Central Catholic Offensive Coordinator Brandon Harden. Coach Harden, let's talk a little bit first of all about your offensive team. They have really been dynamite this year, and I know even with guys out, you have found some way to still score some points.
Yeah, we've been excited going into the season. We had a lot of guys coming back from last year, and we kind of hit a little road bump there, had a few injuries, but we're excited to get some of those guys back this week and going into hopefully the Week 10 District Championship matchup.
And, of course, this week you're going against Highland Baptist, which you don't want to get caught looking ahead to Vermilion Catholic, because Highland, even though they had a great record, they got a potential at home to maybe pull an upset in, which you going in a little short-handed, you never know. But y'all have seemed to done a good job, especially offensively, of keeping the ball moving, in some way finding guys to step up.
Yep. We struggled last week a little bit with some young guys out. Coach Hudson does a good job at Highland Baptist. Of course, he was the head coach at Nish when I was at Westgate. And so there's a lot of familiarity there. And just a real good guy, real good coach. So they're going to play sound football, so it's going to be a good matchup for us.
Let's talk a little about your background. And as an offensive coordinator, you've been at Central Cali a couple years now, but high school quarterback at Patterson High School, went on and played a little college, but I think you played a little defensive back and wide receiver and stuff. But where do you get your offensive philosophies? I know you've probably pulled a little bit from here there, but kind of tell us briefly about how you got to this point.
Yeah, I would say it'd probably be from Chad Blanchard, who was my offensive coordinator in high school. He's now the offensive coordinator at Destrehan. So when I got into coaching, right after I was done playing, I grew up in the system with him, learned from him, and kind of carried over the similar philosophies as I moved on to Westgate and then now back to Central Catholic.
A little bit different athletes at Westgate. Of course, got a guy down the road there at LSU that's not too bad. He hurt now, Keishon Butte, but you talk about guys over there, and you could really spread out. But it's still the same football, even at Central Catholic, and you still do basically the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, football is football. Just talking about different athletes, it's definitely a different athlete. But the X's and O's don't change. The way we coach it doesn't change. It's just I guess how you slice it up is a little different.
And tell me how the game has changed. I mean, going back to when you played, I'm not going to say you're that old because you're not that old, but when you played, it was a little different today. And, of course, when me and your dad played, you hear all those stories about that. It was really different. But what today's game, it's more of a spread out, and you got to stay up with the times, I guess. And there's just so many plays you can think of. But I guess when you see it, different plays, you can look at professional, you can look at college and kind of diagram some stuff. But it's definitely changed, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. I think the biggest thing is the RPO game. I would hate to be a defensive coordinator today. I mean, you have so many options within one play. And you just got to have a trigger man that can think a little bit. But back in your day and back when I first started in high school, we were I formation. The play was sent in from the sideline. You ran that play. It didn't matter if it was a good play or a bad play. You just ran it. Nowadays, you have a few little checks in there, a few little audibles, and it puts you in a better position offensively. So really makes our job easy as offensive coordinators. The defensive coordinators are the ones that really got their hands full.
And I want to say, you're a spread team, but I have seen the last couple of weeks, the Hanson game and last week, when you get the lead or you guys need to, you stay with the running game. You don't totally get away from it, no matter who's back there. Your line has done a good job. And play calling wise, what is it like out there? I mean, do you have more freedom now than maybe last year? Does Coach Grogan give you some suggestions, or is it totally your game?
Coach Grogan's been great to work for. He trusts me 100%, which is awesome, because I've been on the other end of that spectrum where guys are more hands-on, and they have the right to do so as the head coach. But, people ask me all the time, are you a run guy or a pass guy? And I said, whatever the defense gives us. That's the beauty of the RPO. You line up 5 guys in the box, we're going to run the ball. But I think it also goes down to knowing your strengths, and our O-line has been unbelievably good this year, and we're hoping to keep that up. And then, of course, you can't say enough about Demondrick Blackburn. He's been a totally different football player this year than he was the last year. I think it kind of clicked with him, and he's running the ball hard. I'm excited to get him back.
Let me ask you this. You go from 3A Patterson, which played in a good district. Then you see the Westgate athletes in 5A and 4A, which is unbelievable, and 1A. But it's still the same game like we talked about. And even though you don't have as many athletes, you look throughout the district, Hanson spread, Covenant Christian spread, VC spread. So it's really not that old time. Hey, we go 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and everybody throws the football now. And I think you have to do that to keep it exciting.
Oh, definitely. But, at Westgate and just like here, we'd have to face the Karen Crows. So your defense goes from trying to cover everybody to trying to stop that veer. And then for us, last year we playing these spread teams, and all of a sudden we get to Centerville. And Centerville was, man, you're not used to playing that smash mouth type of ball game. So it does change. But like you said, it is evolving, but it's still the same game.
Well, I can tell you from watching you come up and coaching you when you was a young fella, I'll say that too, in Dixie Youth Baseball, that enjoyed it and how you've matured and watching you call the game, and you always seem to be 2 or 3 plays ahead, and I like that, trying to match which with you on the radio and trying to figure out what you're going to do. And this is what I noticed last week, and I haven't seen you to tell you, but it looked like you had a matchup on the outside that you could have anytime you wanted. You had Vernon Singleton against a cornerback that was about 5'6", but you didn't try to go to it every time. You still tried to establish that run, and it worked, and later on you got to go to it, but you just didn't throw the ball down the field. And to me, I think that's really when you see it out there and you got it when you want it, but you stay within your game plan. I think that's what you did.
Definitely. Last week we had the pass game. With the running backs being out, we were struggling in pass protection. So I'm sure from a fan's perspective, they saw a lot of completed passes early. What they weren't seeing is how much the quarterback was getting hit, pass protection breaking down. And it came to a point where I'm like, we tried to clean it up, and we were struggling there. And so I said, let's try to get out of this game healthy, because it's really been difficult the last couple of weeks with the guys. It's who we had out. Some of our big over-the-top guys that's been out. And that's a struggle, because you rely on those guys offensively when you need a play like you're talking about. That's your go-to guys, and they're out. But I'm going to tell you who's really stepped up for us has been Vernon Singleton. He was a guy that wasn't in the starting rotation offensively. He was a starting defensive back. And, man, he's really stepped up for us offensively. One player of the week last week, and it's been really big for us.
And look for the Eagles this week on Friday night. They'll go to Highland Baptist looking for a big win, keep that district title hopes alive, and we hope to see you out there on Friday night. This is Seth Thomas. This is the Eagle Recap Show for this week.
Seth Thomas, color commentator for the Colonels and the voice of KBZE 105.9 FM Sports. And follow Seth on Facebook at Seth Thomas, KBZE 105.9 FM Sports.
We're right here. Hey, thanks for locking it in on the Steve Harvey Morning Show right here on KBZE 105.9 FM.